fair, but I'm glad at least I have a friend coming on who, frankly, is not only Italian, she's Sicilian.
Oh, boy.
So
I'm not going to mess with her.
This is the real deal. Alicia, the Empress, Napoleon Espinosa. She's right now the WBA super middleweight champion, and she just defended her title about 10 days ago. My wife Rosemary and I have gone to dinner with her and her husband, her father and her brother. She's a tough fighter, a great woman, and she's on to talk about her career, but also the role of women in boxing. So, Alicia, the Empress, great to have you on.
Good morning, everyone. Pete, thank you for having me, my friend. Joe, pleasure to meet you over this radio. Hope to shake your hand one day. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Great to have you on. And listen, you are a great champion, but I think one of the issues that you and I have discussed, and I've seen your training regimen, been down with you at the gym in Brooklyn, where you get up at 5, 6 in the morning and down there, work out, the way you have to maintain a diet, the training you have to go through. But unlike the male fighters, you also have to work for a living. You have to somehow keep a job in the middle of all that. Your husband has a job. And just give some examples of what you're up against. I think your last fight, you defended your championship. You walked away with $4,500. The male who defended the equivalent championship, super middleweight champ, got $15 million. So, Alicia, it's all up to you.
Well, yeah, thank you for spreading some light on the situation, because a lot of people are not aware of the complexities that are in the business of boxing, especially pertaining to women. When you're starting out in boxing, like, they call it a poor man's sport, and that's because there's so many splendid organizations that run throughout the country. It's not just one organization like Major League Baseball and the NFL. So there's all different commissions. There's all different promoters that try to work together, and then you try to work your way up to the top. Showtime, HBO, now we have DAZN, ESPN, Fox Sports, stuff like that. So in the beginning, fighters that start out, all of us, male and female, we're rookies, and we don't get paid a lot. But as you work your way up to a level, you start to get paid, you start to get recognition. So as women, the networks are very, very much resistant to giving us the opportunity and to paying us the same. Because if I was starting out, sure, it's understandable. Maybe I'm going to get $800 for a 4-round fight, or maybe I'm going to get $1,000 if I'm lucky. But to work my way up to being a world champion, defending successfully twice, so fought 3 times for a title, 4 in total because I was a former WBC in a lighter weight class, but now I hold the title in the super middleweight division. To be paid $4,500 and to be a world champion for about 3 or 4 years now, it's just not right. It's not equal, because the men that work themselves up to that level are paid equivalently, have sponsorships, don't have to work full-time jobs. But unfortunately, the women do, and that's because the opportunity is not there for us, because the networks won't allow it to be.
I know that you and I are working, and it's a bipartisan issue with Senator Martinez on Long Island. Also, she's going to involve Senator Boyle. And it's something that really is, listen, we're not telling people they have to pay a certain amount of money, but there should be a way to encourage and to put pressure on them to provide more opportunities for women. And again, having seen firsthand what you go through, and also I have a daughter who's in politics, I realize that women have different struggles than men do, that we have to find a way around this. It's just wrong when you're getting $4,500 and the other guy is getting $15 million. I mean, somewhere there has to be a more of a common denominator than that. Why don't you tell the viewers how you got involved in boxing? It's actually obviously a very attractive, intelligent person. You could have gone off in any number of different careers. Why did you pick boxing?
I don't know. I love that physical and mental challenge. I did have, many chances to put myself in other avenues of life and be successful. But I'm just a fighter. There's something in me that I want to fight, and I want to fight more than just physically. I think I was built to stand up and to make change and to help others and to break through and to break barriers and stereotypes. So I definitely think my life and my career is God ordained. But growing up as a little girl, I loved sports. I started playing t-ball and ended up to baseball and softball. So I started playing that at 5 years old. And my dream was to be a Major League Baseball player. And that's where the fight started, because at 5, being told I couldn't do something because I was a girl and that there was no professional baseball players for girls. I didn't understand. So I definitely was meant to fight for women equality. And I just love sports. I love art, and to me, boxing is an art. This is where I ended up today. I originally wanted to be a singer, and I studied fashion, and total other end of the spectrum. But at the end of the day, still a performer.
Now, listen, I would also set the record straight. Before, when Frankie Five Boroughs here was trying to promote this segment, he said how you and I sparred and what a good fight it was. I don't want you knocking me out, okay? Let me just put it on the record. If that fight had been for real, it would have lasted about 12 seconds. But in any event, Alicia, the main thing that tired her out was moving around the ring, making believe she was going to hit me and not hitting me. That was more exhausting than a real fight. But no, again, you have great talent. I saw you fight in Manhattan back in April, I guess it was, and I watched the fight that you had 2 weeks ago. I mean, how much discipline goes into that? I mean, just give them, the listeners, some idea like of what your diet is during these fights. I mean, you're talking about an egg white here, an egg white there. I was passing out from starvation just listening to you.
Well, as an Italian girl, I can eat, and I love to eat. So, I could out-eat my husband and eat him under the table any day. It's a shame. But, when it's fight time, it's just a mentality. It just, something switches. And I'm like, okay, this is it. I got to do this. I have to know that I need to be disciplined. I need to do my best in training because I need to do everything better than my opponent's doing. And I need to mentally get prepared. And by pushing through and staying disciplined, it mentally says, okay, if I can do this now, I can do it even better than when it's time to get in the ring. But diet will consist of, like, in the morning, I'll have a protein pancake for breakfast, and that consists of 3 egg whites, half a scoop of protein, spoonful of applesauce, and so maybe a little cinnamon to season it up, mix it together, fry it with some Pam spray. That's my breakfast. Oh, and also half a cup of oats. So I have my protein, I have my carb. Then I'll go for a run. Then after my run, I might have like a banana just to spike, have a banana or a protein shake to spike up my glycogen. Then I'll go to the gym, I'll train. Then I'll have a measured protein and a measured carb. So I'll start really high. Like I'll start like 6 ounces of protein and maybe half a cup of white rice. Again, white rice to spike up my glycogen, protein to feed my muscles. And then I'll slowly start to break it down depending if I need to cut weight or not. I'll cut it by ounces and I'll cut it by measurements. Then I'll train again. Then at night I'll have, healthy vegetable. And again, another measurement of protein, whether it's as little as 3 ounces or as high as 6 for myself. And I'll eat really lean and really clean, and I'll become a machine. So, that's what diet consists of in a nutshell.
As you're saying this, and I'm looking at these two guys I'm sitting with here. I mean, they eat more probably in an hour than you eat during the entire training.
That's true.
But
see me on an off season. I'm going to test your challenge and see if you can outbeat me because I'm pretty good.
But I have to point out that how I first met Alicia was at a boxing lunch where both of us received an award last year. She got it for fighting. I got it for some work I'd done in Congress. But she is a constituent, and she is living in
no
Lindenhurst.
wonder you're trying to be nice to her.
Yeah, listen, I need her vote, I mean, I got to keep an eye on her and her husband. I got to make sure I get the vote, and a father and the whole family. They all live there.
Well, the whole family backs you, Pete. We're grateful for you, and we're big supporters of you.
So what's next for you?
Well, Lou DeBell, he's my promoter. And, I got to give a shout out to my team. Lou DeBell is my promoter, wonderful in sport women's boxing. I have 2 great coaches, Leon Taylor, DeLynn Parsley, and my manager, Brian Cohen, which is like the top manager for females. He's got almost all of them today. He's wonderful. And then my husband, Roberto Espinoza, who does my strength and conditioning training, he's the love of my life, and he's the reason why I'm successful as well, because I got a good man standing behind me. But our next thing, Lou was talking about hopefully fighting on DAZN, hopefully unifying. So we should have we should be fighting for another belt next, which is great because we want to get those straps and, fight for them. So hopefully DAZN, and that would be, hopefully a fairer purse, bigger than $4,500, I'm sure. But Lou's working very hard, on changing the dynamics of how women are getting paid. And so I should see some changes this year. Not sure if they'll be equal, but at least we're stepping in the right direction. So hopefully you'll see me on a bigger network and fighting for a second title.
Alicia, I've been told I have to wrap this up, but I do want to make it clear. If you do get a bigger purse, you still have not paid me for that sparring session I gave you, which is why you won by a technical knockout in the last fight. Because I pushed you to the limit, and that left hook almost had you a few times.
Okay, we're rematching and we're doubling the purse then.
Okay. Alicia, great to have you on. Hope to see you and Roberto soon. Your father, tell your father and your brother I said hello. And also, you think she's crazy. Her brother runs 100-mile marathons.
Oh,
so
my
This is some
goodness.
family. This is some family she comes from. Alicia, thanks for being on. See you soon.